The Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto, earlier today left the country for a 10-day tour of the United States of America and the United Kingdom. That trip by the Deputy President, in my view, is significant, politically speaking, for several reasons. Number one, for those who've been following the politics of this country, around 3 years ago, the Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, went to Chatham House where he was supposed to give a lecture, and he gave the lecture. But that trip was cut short when President Uhuru Kenyatta decided to travel to Ethiopia. And since the president and the deputy cannot be outside the country at the same time, the deputy president was actually forced back into the country. That was probably the last trip the deputy president made outside the country. Then in some 2 years ago, the deputy president and his team planned another trip to Canada. Again, the government declined to approve that particular trip. And of course, you've seen the deputy president going to Uganda, you've seen him going to Sudan, and the other time he sneaked to Italy. At the peak of Aurora and Himorer, he went to Italy. So, but those you can't term or you can't call international trips by the deputy president. So it's important because the first 2 meetings were actually cancelled. This meeting is also important because there is no way William Ruto can become the president of the Republic of Kenya without international networks. As a matter of fact, it is alleged that the office of the deputy president, there's a gentleman there who tried to persuade the deputy president to focus on international networks or engagement, but their clique, Oscar Sudi and the group, didn't see the need of the deputy president. And when the deputy president finally decided to appoint Ababu Namwamba to head his international affairs, then things started changing. So the trip by the deputy president is significant. So in this video today, I want us to try and figure out why this trip is significant, politically speaking, for the deputy president, and is also likely to shape the politics of this country. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now, let us get back to the main issue. And by the way, subscribers, I want to make a request to you. I know you love the channel. I know you love me. I know you love the content. But please give this particular video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Now, let us begin by going through the letter which was released by Ababu Namwamba, who is the head of international relations, William Ruto Presidential Secretariat. Press release. This letter was released on 24th of February 2022. It says, visit to the USA and the UK by His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. The letter says, Deputy President Dr. William Ruto will this weekend embark on a 10-day visit to the United States of America and the United Kingdom, where he will share his thoughts on foreign policy, democracy and governance, and expound his economic vision for Kenya and Africa. Dr. Ruto is honoring invites by senior government officials and top policy institutes in Washington, D.C. and London. In Washington, this is important, in Washington, D.C., the Deputy President is scheduled to meet, amongst others, officials of the State Department and the Pentagon, as well as U.S. Government National Security Council advisor. He will also speak at the Carnegie Empowerment for International Peace and Center for Strategic and International Studies, and at the University of Arizona's Washington Entrepreneurship Hub. The USA leg of the trip will conclude with a meeting with the Kenyans in diaspora. So basically, the DP will also meet the Kenyans in diaspora at that meeting. In London, Dr. Ruto will meet senior UK government officials, visit the National Counterterrorism Center, and speak at both the Commonwealth Secretariat and the Royal Institute of International Affairs, Chatham House. He will also engage the Kenyan diaspora in the UK and pay a courtesy call on the Archbishop of Canterbury, His Grace Justin Webley. Kenya remains a stable regional anchor state and a valued member of the global community, and the Deputy President's trip seeks to further strengthen ties with the country's traditional friendship and partners. Ababu Namwamba. So this trip by the Deputy President is going to be significant. And I was going through some posts by Pauline Njoroge, and she was like trying to give a breakdown of this meeting, that he is expected to meet 2 junior government ministers. Then at Chatham House speech, he will talk about Tangatanga bottom-up economic model. At the Commonwealth meeting, he will be pleading for fair play and committing to a peaceful election. And while in London, he will also have a couple of fundraisers. Now, these are my thoughts. Why the Deputy President is actually going, why this visit by the Deputy President is important, and the objectives it's intended to achieve. The first objective this meeting is intended to achieve is international relations. You know, for a long time, there was this notion that William Ruto and to some extent Martha Karua were actually banned from traveling to the United States of America, to the UK, and some Europe countries. So this trip by the Deputy President will actually debunk those theories. Either those bans were lifted, or the Deputy President was never banned in the first place. So it's going to debunk all those. Then he's also going to explain his foreign policies. As a matter of fact, if this one area the Deputy President has been doing badly is international relations. The truth of the matter is that there is no way you can become a president of a republic like Kenya without having international connections. If you compare William Ruto to Raila Odinga has serious connections internationally and locally. So which means it is important for the DP to also have such kind of networks. For example, when elections are conducted and there are issues with elections, then probably you'll depend on your international friends to pile pressure. You see, like for example, for the 207 Accord to happen, there are people who piled pressure internationally. And these people were either friends of Raila Odinga or friends of Moi Kibaki. If William Ruto cannot have such kind of people who can pile pressure, like let's talk of United States of America, if he doesn't have any contact within those circles, then it's going to be very difficult for him. So I think what Ababu Namwamba is doing for the DP as we speak now is what he ought to have done long time ago. Instead of camping in the larger Mount Kenya region, the Deputy President should have spent most of his time trying to create these international networks. The fact that he had ICC, he had the issues of the ban, the Deputy President having very weird characters around him, he needs to clean all those. So that's number one. Number two, the Deputy President is basically going to explain his bottom-up economic model. Because, you know, as a country, and you want to become the president, and you are running on an economic model which is probably shifting from what the country is currently running, then he needs to make a clear explanation to the international community, because most international communities are the people who are going to fund these particular models. So if he's talking of economic model of bottoms up, he will have the opportunity. He will be put to task. And this is where the DP will have to be very, very careful, because if he will not convince these people, they'll actually come out with a report that that model is not going to work. And that's why you saw the people who accompanied him were Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia Mudavadi has been a finance minister of the Republic of Kenya. So which means he will be in a position to explain from a government perspective the budget of the Kenya and how this model can actually work. Then he also has David Ndii in his team. David Ndii will be explaining, because David Ndii, I think, is the guy behind this bottom-up economic model. So David Ndii will be explaining to these guys, being a highly respected economist. I think David Ndii is among the top 10 economists in this country. So we'll be able to explain to them. And that's why David Ndii is also part of this team. Then there is Hussein Mohammed, who will be communicating anything which is not very clear. He will be able to communicate. So the bottom-up economic model is one of the reasons why the DP is actually going here to explain to these people what it means and how it intends to achieve it. Number 3, the third objective. Let me tell you something. William Ruto has people who are willing to fund this campaign. Some of them are international. These people have made attempts to meet the DP in this country, and they've always been frustrated. The deputy president has complained, I'm aware, that his people are being frustrated. When Arun Ayadin came into the country, what happened to him? He was deported. That was shameful, and it put the DP in an awkward situation. When the DP planned to go to Uganda to meet his friends there, what happened? He was blocked. Then there was this story of the DP going to Dubai recently and sneaking to Italy. Why would he do that? You know? So it means the deputy president has people who are even willing to fund these campaigns. He has business partners who are willing to meet him on project A, B, C, D. But because it's not in favor of government, these people are not able to come here. So if the deputy president will be in the United States for 10 days, United States and the UK for 10 days, tell me if you will not be able to meet these people. These people will also live wherever they are, and they'll be meeting the DP. After the DP is done with his meetings, these people will be meeting with the DP. So I think the other objective of this particular trip is for the DP to meet his international friends. Whether their characters are questionable or not, but the truth is he will now have the opportunity to meet some of these people. Number 4 is free and fair elections. There's a fear in the deputy president team that the 2022 elections are likely to be conducted or rigged in favor of Raila Odinga. And the only people who can make that not happen are the international community. So I think he's going to raise the issue of free and fair elections, and he's also going to commit himself to accept the result of a free and fair elections in this country. Let me tell you what's going to happen. The deputy president has been part and parcel of this government. He's well aware that elections in this country are not free and fair. And he knows that Raila Odinga and the rest have always managed to win the support of the larger international community, and they've always rallied the international community to pile pressure on government. To some extent, they have always succeeded, to some extent not. So without international networks, there was no way the DP was going to get this kind of pressure coming from outside. So that's why he's going to meet those people, so that he can talk of free and fair elections. Number 5, I know you will say it's far-fetched. IBC tenders. And I'm sure the government have already sent their people to the UK to monitor the people William Ruto will be meeting. IBC is supposed to conduct elections. There is that KIEMS tender, the Kenya Integration Elections Management System tender, still pending somewhere. Several firms are bidding for it. So the truth of the matter is that some of these people will be pushing, the DP is pushing for a firm. He will be able to meet these people. This trip, and you will confirm with me later, has everything to do with IBC tenders. And lastly, it's about campaign money or campaign funds. The deputy president, while in the United States of America, will meet his team there, the Kenyan community there. The deputy president, while in the United Kingdom, will also meet his team, and they'll conduct fundraisers. So these people, they are people who believe in the deputy president. So they'll have the opportunity to meet with the deputy president, share a table with him, share coffee with him, listen to him, and then they'll also have the opportunity to help him raise funds towards his campaigns. It will also be an opportunity for him now, after those funds are raised, if there's some additional money, because the IBC are saying they'll be monitoring the money raised for campaigns. You know, if he has other monies he needs to bring into the country, that will be an opportunity. So people raise money, those money are included, and then they'll be sent back to the country. I don't know what you think. Why do you think the deputy president trip to the United States of America and the United Kingdom is important? In my view, for those 3 reasons, for those 5 reasons: international relations, to debunk this notion that the DP was banned from traveling outside, to explain the bottom-up approach, international friends, then there's the issue of the governance, free and fair elections in the country, to raise funds, and IBC tenders. Let us follow the events as they will be unfolding. Please, if you see any clip of the DP outside there, share it with me. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.